Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Beyond Medicine. We have titled it as Introduction to Saiva Siddhantam. It will be basically a conversation between Dr. Ravi Venkatesan and Raj Ramalingam. Dr. Ravi Venkatesan is a senior consultant spine surgeon at Apollo Greens Road, Chennai. He did his MBBS and from Madras Medical College and a diploma orthopedics and DNB orthopedics from CMC Vellore, where he was a gold medalist. Subsequently, he did his fellowship in spine surgery from France. Dr. Ravi's special interests include minimally invasive surgery, spine surgery, and spinal deformity surgery. He has several presentations and publications to his credit. He is currently an avid student of Saiva Siddhanta. Thank you, Dr. Ravi, for agreeing to do this session at extremely short notice. Talking to Dr. Ravi will be Mr. Raj Ramalingam. He's into research and medical documentation at Asian Orthopedic Institute at SIMS Hospital, Chennai. Raj did his BSc Zoology from Pacheppas College, Bachelor in Business Administration from Madurai Kamaraj University, and MBA in Hospital Administration from Annamalai University. His interests include business administration, research, medical affairs, and of course, spirituality. He maintains a cloud-based registry for South Indian Arthroplasty Academy, which is a consortium of top hospitals in the south of India. He is currently working on a project implementing precision medicine for medical oncology based on genomic sequence data. Thank you, Mr. Raj Ramalingam, for sparing the time. And thank you, Panta Radhakrishna, for getting these two people together at very short notice. Over to both of you.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. First of all, I thank Pata and you for organizing this. This is more than a thing. How I entered into the spiritual thing, that is more interesting for me. When I was a young child doing a +2, doing a lot of household activity, trying to help my mother, and I was never concentrating on my studies. So I got a very average mark, didn't get into professional college. So all my friends got into. And then I find I myself was very sad. Then joined BSc in Sacred Heart College. After that, I realized that I've given too much of trouble to my parents. I thought I should read well. So I started working hard, got into the university rank, and then got into medicine. So far, my parents were treating me in a different way as long till my +2. When I got into medicine, their approach towards me, attitude towards me, everything has changed. I was wondering, what is this? Ravi is the same. Ravi hasn't changed. The IQ of Ravi was same before when he was getting a low mark and whether he got a university rank in the BSc. So, but getting into some basic difference is there from the parent. That to a parent treating you in a different way, I couldn't accept, I couldn't digest. I said, Ravi is same. It is not just because he joined medicine, he is not greater. Just because he has got less mark in +2 doesn't mean that he's small. So that stimulated me into search for what is this real neutral attitude should be. Then I started reading works of Vivekananda, which is a real inspiration for any youth, with which only I could do well and get into medicine. And after getting into medicine, you tend to see a lot of patients dying, and even a well-educated fellow, when he's in a deathbed or in a serious trouble, he gets very desperate, and they get really sad to see them. Such educated fellows, they are so much afraid of disease and treatment. If you suggest surgery, even many of the doctors are afraid. Oh, for me, surgery like that. So I thought, what is this attitude? That means we are not approaching life in a proper way. Then I went on reading, attending classes on Bhagavad Gita, attending classes for Upanishads, all that. Started reading, but still my search continued. Then I got into Valala, who's my real guru. So he made me to go in a proper path. Then I realized his guru is Jnana Sambandha, and he respected Tiruvasagam to a great extent. So then I thought, okay, if he has respected Tiruvasagam, I should get into Tiruvasagam. Tiruvasagathukku Murugadar, Uruvasagatthukkum Murugar. The saying only I know, but after reading, after experiencing few lines, even today I haven't understood fully, but few lines of it created so much of impact in me. Then I wanted to learn Tiruvasagam. So I asked somebody, many people I asked, one fellow said, you go here, they will take a class. So I went there. To my surprise, it was not a class on Tiruvasagam, it was on Saiva Siddhantam. So I said, okay, God has directed me here. Let me sit here and listen. That is how I got into Saiva Siddhantam. First class was on Unmai Vilakkam. From there, we went to different aspects. Coming to this is my small story. So that is of no use for you. So coming to the Saiva Siddhantam message, Samayam, it is called Samayam. Samayam in Tamil means the வாழ்க்கை நெறி. நம்மளோட வாழ்க்கையை எப்படி நிறைவாக வாழ முடியும் அல்லது நெறிப்படுத்த முடியும் அப்படின்றதுதான் சமயம். அதுல சைவம், எனிதிங் ரிலேட்டட் டு சிவா இஸ் சைவம். சோ யார் சைவ சமயம் அப்படின்னா சிவனை முழு முதலாக கொண்டவர்களே சைவர். So for them there is only one God. ஒன்றே கடவுள், ஒருவனே தேவன். The saying is from Tirumandram. It is by a Saivite. So ஒன்றே குலம், ஒருவனே தேவன். It's not by anybody else. Generally people think that it has come from some political people. No. ஒன்றே குலம், ஒருவனே தேவன் என்று உரைத்தவன் சைவன் திருமந்திரத்திலிருந்து. So இதனுடைய நூல்கள் திருமுறை, தேவாரம், திருவாசகம், திருமந்திரம், அந்த மாதிரி திருமுறைகள் 12 திருமுறைகள் இருந்தாலும் அவை எல்லாமே தோத்திர பாடல்கள். அதாவது பிரேயர் யூ கேன் யூஸ் இட் ஃபார் யுவர் பிரேயர். பட் அதுல சாத்திரம், how to teach this philosophy to the people, take it to the common man to understand this Tirumurai, Tiruvasagam, all this. If you want to understand, without this Sathira Nulgal, you cannot understand. Whatever we read, it may be a literal meaning, literal sense it may be giving, but you will not be able to understand the inner meaning, the real meaning, which will really touch your soul. So for that, you need to read the Sathirangal. That is you can say it as a ilakyam, ilakkanam சொல்ற மாதிரி. தோத்திரம் it's only for your prayer, used for prayer. But if you don't understand Sathira நூல்கள், you cannot understand Tothiram. So that is a basic difference. But how to teach this? Even though Saiva Samayam, they were asking what is the age of this religion. So there is no end. It is anadi. There is no, you cannot decide what. But according to the history, the first Nayanmar, Karaikal Ammayar, சிவபெருமானால் நம்மை பேணும் அம்மைகான் என்று கூறப்பெற்றவர் காரைக்கால் அம்மையார். அந்த அம்மையார் பிறந்தது 2nd century. So that is where the 63 நாயன்மார்களில் முதல் நாயன்மார் ஏஜ் வைஸ் இஸ் காரைக்கால் அம்மையார். அந்த நம்மை பேணும் அம்மைகான் என்று சிவபெருமானால் அழைக்கப்பட்ட ஒரே பெருந்தகை, அதுவும் பெண்மணியான காரைக்கால் அம்மையார் மட்டுமே. நீங்கள் கோயிலுக்கு சென்றாலும் இன்றும் அமர்ந்த கோலத்தில் இருக்கின்ற 63 நாயன்மார்களில் ஒருவர் அவர் மட்டுமே அமர்ந்திருப்பார், மற்றவர்கள் அனைவரும் நின்றிருப்பார். So that is the significance that Shiva has given to her. So that is the greatness of காரைக்கால் அம்மையார். So coming to the Sathira நூல்கள், so how to teach this, how to take this to people, that is what Meygandar did. Meygandar was born in 13th century, and his parents didn't have children, so they approached his guru, Kulaguru. Kulaguru, then he looked at all that and then said, let me do a prayer. அந்த காலத்துல ஜோஷியக்காரன்ட்ட அவங்க போக மாட்டாங்க. they did a big puja, prayer, all that. அந்த தேவாரம், திருவாசகம் அந்த ஏடுகளை எடுத்து, அந்த திருமுறைகளை எடுத்து அதுல நூல் சாத்தி, கயிறு சாத்தி பார்த்தல் அப்படின்ற முறையில பிரேயருக்கு அப்புறம் they put a thread on to any of the திருமுறைகள். அதுல இருந்து ஒரு பாடல், எந்த பாடல் வருதோ அந்த பாடலினுடைய மீனிங் எடுத்து then they will interpret. The guru will interpret and tell. Like that, the Arul Nandi Sivam is 70 plus years of age. At that age, these people approach him to know whether they can have a child, and he takes a poem from Tiruñana Sambandar and says, if you go to this temple and pray Oru Mandala Kalam 48 days, you do Virada and then do the puja, then you will have a child. They get the child also. At the age of 2 years, this child was playing in the road. But that time, the Paranjodi Munivar, avaroda guru agiya Paranjodi Munivar, அவர் அகச்சந்தான குரவர் போற்றப்படுபவர். அவர் வந்து வானவழியாக போயிட்டு இருக்கும்போது சிவபெருமான் அவரை தடுத்து நிறுத்தி மெய்கண்டாருக்கு நீங்க உபதேசம் செய்ய வேண்டும் அவரை தோன்றினோடனே அவர் கீழே இறங்கி வந்து அந்த குழந்தைக்கு 2 வயது குழந்தைக்கு உபதேசம் பிஃபோர் எல்கேஜி. ஞான சம்பந்தர் 3 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் பாடல் பாடினார். இவர் வந்து அதுக்கும் முன்னாடியே. So even
you have to speak in English because there are a lot of audience who can't understand Tamil, please.
Yeah, they want
okay.
English.
So he did this in 1234. At the year 1234, Paranjodi Munivar did a Ubadesam for him and blessed him. And then he started composing Sivanyana Bodham. Sivanyana Bodham that we see in the hands of Shiva. No, in the hands of Shiva, in the, what is it, in the
Dakshinamurti.
Dakshinamurti is the same Sivanyana Bodham, that is in Sanskrit, but this Sivanyana Bodham is completely different from the Sanskrit version of Sivanyana Bodham, and is as a biggest Tamil contribution to the world. Tamil has contributed to the religion in a great way by this book. So Saiva Samayam பெருங்கொடை to the humanity அப்படின்னா அது வந்து மெய்கண்டார் எழுதிய சிவஞான போதம். அந்த சிவஞான போதம் only 12 poems are there, which is difficult for people, to anybody to understand except for jnanis. So then he starts giving lectures at the age of 2 years. Then one day his father goes to his guru, that is Arulnandi Sivam. He is otherwise called Sagalagama Pandidar. So where he knows all the Vedas and Agamas by heart, like. So when he goes for a debate, he will go with 12 bullock carts full of inscriptions, I believe. So that is the kind of discussion they had. You can think in 13th century, a person goes for a debate, he carries with him 12 bullock carts full of scriptures. That is, they always talked with reference. They didn't say that in my experience, no. So that is another thing which attracted me to Saiva Siddhanta. So they always quote with reference. They don't say, I'm saying this in my experience, no. So he goes and meets him and says that, how is your son? He says that my son is doing well. But Guru, he started giving speeches and people are assembling in big numbers to listen to his talk. Then he gets excited. He said, let me come and see him. So Arulnandi Sivam, who is a Brahmin, who is Vedam, Agamam, everything he knows very well, he goes to his disciple's house where this child is giving the lecture, and there is a group of people giving the lecture. The Sagalagama Pandidar is well known in that area and throughout that country, but despite that, he wanted to test this child. He says, Anavam enbadu enna? What is Anava? So immediately the child, no, it is not ego. So Anava, I will come to that later. Okay. So it is not a ego. One of the expression of Anava is ego. So it gets expressed in 7-8 different forms. Out of which one of the expression is ego. So ego is not equivalent to Anava. So he asked him, what is Anava? The child just turns towards him and says, Ni nirpadu Anavam. The way in which you are standing and asking me this question, that is Anava. So immediately the 70 plus age, who is well respected by the king and all the learned people, he falls flat at the 2 years old child's feet and says that you should accept me as your disciple. And he accepts him as a first disciple. So Arulnandi Sivam, அல்லது Sagalagama Pandidar, he is the first disciple of Meygandar. And after reciting this Sivanyana Bodham to him, he himself writes a small explanation to it. After that, he blesses him to write a book called Sivanyana Siddhiyar. So when they say any Tamil culture fellow, if he wants to claim himself to be a Tamilian, he should have read 8 books, out of which Thirukkural is one which everybody will be knowing. If you read Thirukkural, it is not enough. If you have read Parimelagal Urai, that is considered a different book by itself. Thirukkural is one, Parimelagal Urai is different. So if you read any other Urai, anybody else Urai, it is not the correct way of interpreting. If you read Parimel Alagar Urai, then only you have read Tirukural. So because Parimel Alagar, by his name itself, is a staunch Vaishnavite, but when he interpreted Tirukural, he interpreted in keeping in mind the concepts of Saiva Siddhanta which Tiruvalluvar wanted to convey to the people. So he interpreted in the name of, fully in the form of Saiva Siddhanta. Nowhere he mentions the Vaishnava concepts there. That shows how neutral our fellows when they approach the book. That is a great thing of our people. So they never said, even though he belonged to some other religion, some other philosophical concept, when he interpreted a book, he interpreted according to how he will interpret, the author will interpret in that way. So that is the greatness of Parimel Alagarurai. So coming to the Arul Nandi Sivam, then he writes Sivajnana Siddhyar, which has got two portions. So most of the time we read the Siddhyar Subakam, and Taimana Sarvigal, who lived in the 18th century, he said, Siddhiki Mel Nulillai, Tamil, that is there is no book other than a greater book
Ravi,
than
if I
Siddhya.
can interrupt for a while, we're all, many of us are rank outsiders. We just want to know what is Saivism in general, and how was it different from Vaishnavism or any other set? What is special about Saivism?
Yeah, so good. Coming to the topic as such, Saivite take Vedam and Agamam both as a reference books. They follow both. So Vedam has got two components. One is Karma Kanda, other is Jnana Kanda. Vedam is considered as a Pudu or the general. Agama is considered as a special. So if you consider cow, that is the Vedam. When you consider the milk, that is the Agamam. Saiva Siddhantam is the ghee. So that is that you can see the comparison. So they take both Vedam and Agamam as a Pramanam, and they don't accept only Vedam, or they accept both. That is the way they differ from the other things. In this Samayam means the Saivite is dividing the Samayam into four categories: Agam, Agapuram, Puram, Purapuram. Here they don't. Purapuram means the non-believers, including Buddhists and Jains, are included in this. So they don't want to leave even the non-believer as a separate entity. So they are included in the Puram. So then Purachamayam. Purachamayam includes the Vedantists, Agapuruchamayam, Pasubadam, like that. Agachamayam, Saivites. Saivites, they are again divided into 6 different categories. Siva Samavadam, etc., which we won't go into detail. But those are the things. Saiva Siddhantam means Mudinda Mudivu. You cannot come to a better conclusion or nothing more than that you can conclude. Like Mudinda Mudivu, that is the thing. It is based on Darga Shastra. In Sivajnana Siddhyar, he has concised Darga Shastra into 10 pages. So for any lawyer or anybody who wants to go into a research, they should read these 10 pages, which gives them an insight into how to argue your point. So it is based on Targa Shastra. It is based on Sarkaryavadam. Sarkaryavadam means the ulladu aliyadu illadu thondradu. That means whatever is there, it will never be destroyed. Whatever is not there will never appear. So, and it is very scientific. So to take this, how to assess, how to interpret your philosophical concepts, what are the concepts they had? Like you have a weight you can measure length, you can, all these measurements you have. But philosophy, what are the measurements that you have? One is Kachi Alavai, that is Pratyaksha Pramanam. Other is Karudal Alavai, Anumana Pramanam, Urai Alavai, that is a reference. For them, reference is both Vedam and Agamam. So in this concept, Saivites considered 3 things as existing: Anadiye, Padi, Pasu, Pasam, Ivai Moondrum Anadi. So it is not that somebody created so here Padi means Shivam, Pasu means the souls like us, Pasam means the one which binds us into this life. So these are the 3 things. And each, when come to the Shiva has got 5 jobs. Aindolil Atvar, our Engunattavar. So என் குணத்தான் வாழை தாளை வழங்கா தலை அப்படின்னு திருக்குறள் will say. So என் குணத்தான் means சிவபெருமான். பெரிய கடவுள் means சிவபெருமான். That is being given, the Jains praised him as a பெரிய கடவுள். So பெரிய கடவுள் means சிவபெருமான். So பதியின் அவரோட குணங்கள் 8 குணங்கள். தன்மயம், பேரருள் உடைமை, பேராற்றல் உடைமை, இயற்கை உணர்வினாதல், முற்றும் உணர்வல். Like that, there are 8 qualities which is very unique for him. And ஐந்தொழில்கள், that is creation, sustenance, dissolution, and மறைத்தல். I don't know how you concealing. மறைத்தல் and அருளல். Arulal means blessing. So all the 5 jobs are done by him. And as I said, the souls are anadi. It is when there is no for your souls, there is no age for it. It has 3 stages. One is Kevala Nilai. Kevala Nilai, you don't get your body. It has a tendency or a greatest affinity towards this mala, the Mula Malam we call, that is Anava Mala. Anava Mala is described as one which atomizes the soul. So that means this makes your soul become very, very small and directs you towards lesser objects instead of you realizing what is your worth. So that is the character of Anava. It gets expressed in the form of ego, jealous, anger, karma, like that, varied things. It can get expressed in 7 different forms. So because in the beginning, the souls has a greatest affinity towards the Anava, they get submerged in it, so they don't get the life form also, but out of his compassion, he keeps looking at it, so they get into the Sagala Nilai. Sagala Nilai means they get the soul, the body, they get in the body. It can be a human form, animal form, or whatever, but that is the stage. Sagala Nilai is the stage where you get your body, and because of the compassion of the God. So what is he adding to this? So why is he giving you this body? Because when you are submerged or completely bound by this Anava Mala, you are not able to express your knowledge. You are not able to experience that you are a knowledgeable object. So to get rid of that, out of his compassion, he is doing that. But he doesn't want to do it directly. He wants you to go through an experience and then come to a conclusion. That is why he is adding 2 more malas, what is called the Maya and the Kanma. So Maya is again a big topic by itself. Different Vaishnavites call Maya in a different form, but Saiva calls Maya as a Ulborul. Mayai Ulborul, adu Aruvamana. There is no form to it. It is, you can call it as a energy form, I don't know, but it is a Ulporul. From that Maya, again it is divided into Sutta Maya, Asutta Maya. Sutta Maya doesn't have the affinity towards the Anava Mala. Asutta Maya has the affinity towards the Anava Mala. So Sutta Maya is different, Asutta Maya is different. From the Asutta Maya, there is a one which turns into the world or the universe or whatever the physical objects or the life forms. That is the Prakriti Maya. So the Karya Padum Porul Prakriti Maya. From this Prakriti Maya, you get your body. So this body you get, and then
if I can interrupt you again, Ravi, because a lot of it keeps going above our heads. You are in post PhD state and we are rather KG level. Now, this Cyber Siddhantam is written into a book form. In case
that's what I said.
That is
what I said. No, in the beginning itself, I said
those people who wrote are they knew Shiva personally well, or how could they extract the essence of Shiva? How could they write all this based on what?
Coming to the Shiva is Sat Chit Anandam. அவள் என்றும் உள்ள பொருள், அறிவான பொருள், and Anandamana. Anandam, the word means that you experience only with God. So whatever you experience in the life form is inbam in Tamil. Happiness. Happiness is not equivalent to Ananda. So Ananda you experience only in Mukti. So only you attain Satchidananda, you get the Ananda. So that kind of person, they are dividing these forms of Shiva again. They are calling it as a Podu and Sirapu. The Tadatta Ilakkanam and Soruba Ilakkanam. In Sanskrit, Soruba. Soruba means the original form. In the original form of Shiva, you cannot understand. With this physical body, with whatever I am describing or whatever your experience, you cannot touch him, you cannot reach him. That is the Soruba Ilakkanam. So in that form, if he is there, like they call it as a Parabrahman. So this is of no use to us. So, and so Parabrahma, let it be, the souls will say, let him be there. What is the big deal? But out of his compassion, he thinks that in these souls also knowledgeable Sittu Porul. Some Tamil we say Sittu Porul. So they have the knowledge, they should come up in life, they should progress, they should attain me. In that compassion, out of his compassion, he comes down. That is called Tadatta Ilakkanam. So when it comes down, it can come in different forms for different people. People like me who doesn't understand anything, that has to come in the physical form. Physical form, he comes in 24 forms. So it is in the 24 forms he comes, out of which the highest is Nadaraja. So highest is Nadaraja. So and the next form is called the Aru Uruvam, that is Shivalinga Tirumeni. The Shivalinga Tirumeni itself I can talk for 10 minutes. So that is the Aru Uruvam form. It is neither form nor formless. Then even this Aruvam form, that is the formless God that we call, many of us, God is formless. That itself is a lower form for Shiva. That is what our Vedas and Agamas say. So that is how the Shiva is. So then you ask me who can approach him. So out of any according to him, any soul is eligible. Ella uyirgalum is equal right to reach him. How well you try, how hard you try, how much you realize that I am nothing. So how much you realize that how great he is, then you keep progressing. So in that progress, you can say even the Megandar or Arunandi Sivam, all these people had the vision of him. They are all Jivan Muktas. I will come to that end of it, what kind of vision. In that they categorize them into 5 categories. So Jivan Muktar, Pada Muktar, Abara Muktar, Paramukti. So Jivan Muktas are the ones who attain that Ananda, Satchidananda, when they had the physical body itself. So that is Jivan Mukta. But still, because they have the physical body, they might have come through some kind of painful experience, but it will not affect them. Like the typical example that they quote in Saiva Siddhanta is the what is a Raj? What somebody use பண்றோமே Asafoetida, when you remove it from the box, still it will have its smell. Like that, Jivan Muktas live. But they don't create any karma, nothing like that. But they live in that body. They are the Jivan Mukta. These are the Jivan Muktas who created these books for us. So it is nobody else. So they didn't write it on their own. It is whatever he dictated to them that was being conveyed. There is no, because they have got rid of that complete anava, they didn't have anything to say from their own perspective. Even if you take Vedas, Upanishads, everything, they don't have an author by itself. That is after they attain that Anubhuti Nilai. That is they are completely merged with one. In that stage, they write whatever they write is called Anubhuti. So that is what they convey. So that is the Vedam, Agamam, and all the Sivajnana Bodham, Sivajnana Siddhya. So that is what it is. So that is the answer to the question.
Yeah, he's asking Shiva taught Nandi. Nandi taught another 4 people. And,
That is you have to go into again much more. There are what is called Agat Chandana Kuruvar, Purat Chandana Kuruvar. Agat Chandana Kuruvar is the one that you see in the temple, the four
Temples.
people sitting around the Guru, actually there are 8 people, out of which one is the Paranjoti Munivar. When he was going by the sky, he looked at this boy and then gave the blessing. They don't have a physical body. So they are Agachandana Kuruvar. Purachandana Kuruvar only is our Meigandar, Arulnandi Sivam, Umabadi Sivam, like that. They have the physical body. They are all Jivan Muktas. So this is what it is. So yeah.
We have 14 big books in Saiva Siddhanta in Tamil, sir.
Saiva Siddhanta.
Most of them came from Sanskrit wordings. These are all.
So out of which 3 books are primary. One is the Sivanyana Bodham, next is Sivanyana Sityar, the third one is Siva Pragasham. If you read 3 books, I think you can understand to a large extent, but reading will take many, many years for you. So that is what it is. So I was in the stage of the good thing you asked me that I could talk about the Shiva. So when this coming to the Maya I was talking about, Maya is formless, which comes into Prakriti Maya. Prakriti Maya has a unique quality of adding 3 gunas to the soul. That is what even Thai Manavar will say. Mukkunangalai in the Prakriti Tandadu Yar. Prakriti is a inert object. How can it get 3 gunas without your permission? So I got these 3 gunas through this Prakriti and I am suffering. Why did you give permission for this Prakriti like that? Like that you will say. So Prakriti is the one which gives you Rajasam, Tamasam and the Satvik gunas. Satvik is the highest and Rajasam is in between and the Tamasam is the lowest. So the three gunas. So when somebody might ask, how come the God is without gunas, gunamili, and he doesn't have these 3 gunas. He have 8 gunas which are unique to him, but he doesn't have the gunas that we have. So gunamili means he doesn't have the gunas that we have, Rajasic, Sattvic or Tamasic. So that is what Prakriti. From that Prakriti, then we create the instruments or tattvas. So for our body, these tattvas are again divided into 36. Number looks big, but it is very simple. From the 5 Buddhas, 5 components. From the 5 Buddhas, then we get what is called Jnanendriya. Jnanendriya is your ear, eyes, taste, smell, all this. So these 5s are called Jnanendriya. The nomenclature is too great. When you remember this every time when you eat or when you speak or whatever, so if you realize that this is classified as a Jnanendriya, so I should utilize these 5 Indriyas to acquire knowledge, then we will not eat more, we will not talk more, we will not look unwanted things. So the classification itself is great. Second 5 things are Karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are first is speech, next is your legs, then the hands, then the karuva, your excretory system and the reproductive system. So then comes the Tanmatrigal. Tanmatre means these Panchabhutas gets involuted into your soul in Tanmatras. That is in the form of sound, in the form of uru, that is the sensation, in the form of shape or light, in the form of taste, and in the form of smell. These 5 qualities are the qualities of Buddhas which get attached to your soul. And then you have 4 Andakaranas, that is Manam, Sittam, Agankaram, Buddhi. Onrai Sendru Patruvad Manam. One which goes and gets attached to things easily, that is Manam. So Manam is in between your inner instruments and the outer instruments are Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. It is in between. And next is the Sittam. Sittam, Sindippada Sittam. That is one which is thinking, is Sittam. Then the third one is Agankara. Once you see an object and then you start thinking what it could be, then your Agankara says, let me go and find out. Tan Munaipu, it is not ego, it is a Tan Munaipu. With that, the going forward or initiation into the action. So that is called the Agankara. From there, it goes into Buddhi. Once you have done the job, you go and see object and you conclude, oh, this is what it is. The conclusion is done by the Buddhi. And the beauty of the Buddhi Tattva is that all your karmas are getting recorded there. So that is where your karmas are getting recorded. So you yourself record your own, whether it is a good or bad things. So pava or punyas, you record it yourself. So it is not. So the and pavam and punyam depends not on your action, but action alone, but your attitude. When you do I do this with that attitude you do, then only you create paba and punya. Whether it is a pabam or punyam, it is decided by God. So in certain circumstances it will become pavam. In certain circumstances it will become same action will become a punya. So that is getting recorded. So when you have finished all this, these 24 tattvas are Anma tattvas, and then you go into Vidya tattvas. Vidya tattvas again, first is the Prakriti, Kalam, Yadi, Kalai, Vittai, Araham, Purudan, and these 7 are Vidya tattvas. And then last 5 tattvas, which are Sutta tattvas, that is Sutta Vittai, Ishwaram, Sadasivam, Vindu Nadam. These are the 5 which are from the Suddha Maya Tattvam. So I consider there is a different explanation, spiritual explanation for these tattvas. I can say scientifically, I may be wrong, but still you can call that these are the receptors where you receive the blessings of the God. From the Suddha Vittai is the one, the highest souls, like the elevated souls can bless you where they reside. And the next is the Ishwaram. Ishwaram is the one which dominates you. Then the Sadasivam is the one which blesses you. Like that, you can do it. But if you go by definition of the Saiva Siddhanta, the 5 has got different compositions of Jnanam and Kriya. So Jnanam and Kriya, different compositions, it forms the 5 different things. That is how you are made of these 34 tattvas, which helps you to get day-to-day Aparajnanam and Paranjanam also. So not the Paranjanam, Aparanjanam. Whatever we are describing now or discussing now, these are all Aparanjanam. This by words you cannot reach God. If you go to beyond the word, then you can reach. Sollara summa iru abdinu. He was our Tirupugal said Sollara summa iru. Arunagirinathar Murugaperuman blessed him. Sollara summa iru. That's a big sentence. That is very, very difficult for anybody to reach. And these Jivan Muktas have attained that. So how many life forms we have to take to reach that, we don't know. But still, we have to keep trying, and that is the best path to go. So that is how it is. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask, but I have a lot more to talk within this. Hello.
Sure, sir. Nice explanation. And what is Siddhanta?
Mudinda Mudivu. That is a
Siddh.
Mudinda
What is the meaning
Mudivu.
of Siddh?
Siddh, that is what I said in the beginning itself. With your knowledge of whatever the maximum Siddhatin Mudivu, whatever
That is
the
end of knowledge.
end of all your thought process, where maximum rational thinking, where it can reach Mudinda Mudivu. You cannot reach beyond that. So, so that is what it is. So
Is
then
it popular?
coming to the Kanmam, I said, I think Maya I have described. The beautiful way of describing Anava is Tannayam Katadu, Matra Porulayam Katadu. So that is the beauty of Anava. It will not reveal itself. At the same time, it will block other things also. So that is the beauty of Anava. That is the best way to describe. And Kanmam, again, we would have known this terminology, we know Sanjita Karmam, Praratta Karmam, Agamya Karmam. Sanjita is always any soul has got through their millions of births, they have past karmas, that is called Sanjitam. Praratham is the one out of his compassion. God, what he does, he takes too much good amount of good and small portion of bad that you have done and sends you into this life so that you mature both ways. But generally, we again do more mistakes. By that way, we create agamya and generate more for the Sanjita, we'll go back and come back again and again into this birth cycle. So getting out of this birth cycle is the whole aim of human soul. That is what the Sai Siddhanta teaches us, to get out of this cycle. So that is what the whole aim is.
Why is that discrimination like in the one child born in a very different area, one child born in a different why this difference of birth?
Yeah. I used to think before I came to Sai Siddhanta, I couldn't explain. So as I said, the Sanjidam, what are the karmas that you can Avvinai Kivinai Endru Agdariyar? That there is a sentence says, you cannot say that if you do a bad thing and then you cannot compensate it by doing a good thing. No, it will not equalize. It will be decided by him only. So always we should be careful in doing good things. We don't know the papas when it will come and hit us. It may not be this, but whatever praratham you came with, only that will affect you. It will not, whatever you are doing in this birth, it will not affect you except in case of a Jivan Muktar. Jivan Muktar, he doesn't have any more aghamiyam. So whatever he experienced in the beginning of his life, whatever bad things, that might affect him, but it will not create new karmas. So for him, it may be true, but for all of us, especially like me, so it will only the praratham affects me. Whatever good I do, this not. And whether you do with the papa or the punya, these are all binding. Papa is in the form of iron chain. The punya is in the form of a golden chain. Both are chains only. That is what Saiva Siddhanta, the 63 Nayanmas said. So getting rid of this birth cycle is very, very important. That is called Piravamai. So when you are born only, there is a death. So that is Iravamai also. So
how to get
coming,
relieved? How to get relieved from this bond? What is Saiva Siddhanta giving?
yeah. So now coming to
This
the
thing.
why people have different kinds of birth, why, especially when the child suffers as a parent, or for anybody to see a child suffer is very, very, very difficult. So the child's praratham is such a way that they have to experience some kind of pain and go back. And maybe we don't know what is his blessing in the next birth. He may be a better born. So we don't know. But whatever karma they did, for that they are born, they live for a short while, and then they go back. So but same way, we shouldn't say that always it is my karma that shouldn't create a inferiority complex within you. Everybody does bad and good. There is as a souls, it is a common phenomena. It is not something unique you have done or you only have done. It is like the going through exams. So there is no school where the exams, you can't get a degree without an exam. So if you want a bigger degree, obviously the suffering has to be more. So if you want to achieve something greater, you sacrifice more to get your NCS, become a surgeon like Dr. Radhakrishna. He has to sacrifice so much. So like that, in spiritual path also, pain is in a way a blessing. That means you are getting rid of your karmas. So they asked in the history of Ramakrishna, if you know, when he had the oral cancer, the vocal cord cancer, they asked him to go and pray to Lord so that she blesses him to get rid of the thing. But they know if they seek that blessing, get rid of the illness, they will be born again, which is much more painful. So they want to go through this pain, get rid of this life with this itself. That is their whole aim. So that is why based on your karma, you get your birth. You can get and just because you are born as a human doesn't mean that you are greater when compared with the animal. No, not at all. So they don't have the ability to speak, but the animals are in no way lesser than you.
Ramana Shiva, you want to say something? Please unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram.
Sir, how do you register for this course? Is there a way that we can register and do the course, or?
Oh, the Saiva Siddhanta. So anybody can join. This is done by the Thiruvavadudare Adinam. So first they strike the first introductory classes are done. Second is the Melnilai Vaguppu. And then if you do first 2 years, you will get a Diksha called Samaya Diksha, where they will teach you the Anushtanas, like the Anushtanas that how to do the puja, all that. how to pray to God. Second thing is I got the Visheda Diksha. Visheda Diksha means you become a Shiva Putra. So that means it is your duty to do puja every day. It is, you take a responsibility also that time. So, and the mantras are different for Samaya Diksha. Mantras are different for Visheda Diksha. Last is a Nirvana Diksha. Tiruvadaduri Adinam doesn't give Nirvana Diksha to anybody. Only people who go into sannyasa, they give the Nirvana Diksha. There is a history according to the first Umapati Sivam. To him, the God gives a letter saying that Petran Samban, there is a woodcutter who is cutting woods and giving it to the Chidambaram temple. Please give mukti to him. So he gives a Nirvana Diksha to him, and immediate Nirvana Diksha means leaving this body instantly. So he is Umapadiyam Sivam is the biggest acharya of the Chidambaram temple. So he gives the Diksha and then he immediately falls flat. Then the family makes a big complaint. The king comes and then king understands that this is the beauty of Nirvana Diksha, but the common man doesn't understand. So he asks Mahapati Sivam, you have to explain this to the people here. Otherwise, they will ask me to punish you. There is no other escape from me. So then immediately he says, if any of you willing to get the Nirvana Diksha, I can demonstrate. So nobody is willing. Everybody is going backwards. So immediately he looks all around and then finds one small shrub. I think Malichedi.
Jasmine,
So Jasmine
creeper.
creeper was there. He looks at it. He says, which is receiving the water, Abhishek water from the Nadaraja. So every day. So he looks at it and says, I will do the puja for it and it will attain the mukti. Immediately he does the puja. From there, the Jasmine plant shrivels. From there, a light goes and attains the feet of Lord Nadaraja. This is recorded history. It is nothing exaggeration. So like that. So next, so Nirvana Diksha, they don't give it to anybody, but you can get a Acharya Diksha. That means you can start teaching people. So these are the ways to go about it.
Sir,
If you want,
அது எப்படி நம்ம ஆன்லைனா ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணலாமா எப்படி சார்?
No, it is attendance is a must. That is a big deficiency in this. 80% attendance is mandatory for you to get these Dikshas. And if you want, I can give you a number. You can contact him. He will.
You can contact Dr. Ravi after the session.
I can put you through. They will, whenever the year is starting, that year they will put you into, and they will give you all these 14 books and then go through.
Okay, Dr. Ravi, then you were talking about karma because of the bondage and birth, good deeds.
Yeah.
It's a golden chain, bad deed, it's iron chain because of the karma. Anyway, they are going to born. How to get liberated from the chains? Is there a way? What is Saiva Siddhanta is telling out? Is there a marga? What are the margas available? Can you just put it in a short form? Short.
Yeah, this is divided into Sariyai, Kiriyai, Yogam, Jnanam. Sariya is what we all do, believers in God. We just go to the temple and pray. Whichever form of God we see, we pray. That is called Sariyai. Kiriyai is the one where you do it with mantras. So each, when you get the Diksha, you get a different mantras. So based on the mantras, mantra ruby, you call Shiva as a mantra ruby, and you start chanting in that mantra itself. The sound itself becomes God for you. Yoga is you start praying. Yoga means union. Actually, yoga doesn't mean the exercise that we do. So it's being wrongly interpreted. Exercises are facilitating, but it is not by itself called yoga. So Patanjali, whatever he taught, the Yoga Sutras are not only postures, there are something more to it. A little bit controversy between Patanjali and other Vedantists or Saivists. We'll come to that later. But yoga doesn't mean the posture alone. It is only an accessory for yoga. So yoga means union. Union means you start feeling the God within yourself. So for that, you have to, once you are mature for that, your guru decides this guy is fit for yoga. He teaches the special mantras. It's called Satya mantras. These mantras are taught to you, and he teaches the ways of yogic way of praying, all that. Then you start praying, you become one within the God, within yourself. That is yoga. Whereas jnana is completely different. There's no difference between you and the God and you and any of the life forms or any of the objects. You don't differentiate. That is you are always one with him. There is jnanam, jnayam, nadiru. So the person who is seeing, the object that is being seen, and the inference, whatever, all three merges into one. That is the jnanam stage. So once you have achieved that stage, then your mukti will come. After that, mukti will come.
What we see yoga is actually yoga asanas. Those are all
Yoga
asanas.
asanas, yeah, Patanjali,
Yeah.
the Patanjali
Yoga
of
asanas is part of the 8 yoga steps of yoga.
So
Yeah.
what is the deficiency? Then I asked my master, what is the difference between your yogam that you teach in Saiva Siddhantam, and the yoga that is being taught by Patanjali? Patanjali's book is 3,000 years old. I read few of his Sanskrit verses in English, which says the concept of sagittal balance in spine, because I'm a spine surgeon. So how to sit, he says. In that, he says, when you sit, keep your knees down, roll your pelvis forward. If you roll your pelvis, the remaining part of the spine will fall in place. That means the lumbar lordosis, thoracic kyphosis, and cervical lordosis will fall in place. That is the concept of sagittal balance Patanjali knew 3,000 years ago. So which we are talking about for the past 2 decades. That's all. So that is how they were scientific. So when he asked how come they know all this, the other thing is Tiruvasagam in Tiruvanda Pagadi, Tiruvasagam Manikavasaka says, Unda Pagadin Andai Perakam, Alaperum Tanmai, Walaperum Kachi, Wondernek, Wonder Interil Pagarin, Nutro Godi Merpada Verindana. So he says, when I look at the sky, there are planets which are global in shape, which has been described in according to Raj, it is 10th century. According to me, it is 2nd century. So in that time, Manikavasika says it is global and it is moving in a synchronized manner. And there are millions and millions. And who is doing this? These are all inert objects. How can it move synchronously? So there is somebody who is moving this. So that is how he concludes. And an inert object cannot move in a synchronized manner. So under Pagadi, that opens your eyes for a thought process, how scientific they were. Same way, even any gynecologist cannot describe the stages of pregnancy in few lines like what Manikavasaka did. ஈனமில் கிருவியின் செருவினில் பிழைத்தும் ஒருமதி தாண்டி இருமதியில் பிழைத்தும், like that he goes இருமதி வினைவில் ஒருமையில் பிழைத்தும், like that. The last he says தாயோடு தான்படும் துக்க சாகர துயரடை பிழைத்தும். When the child is getting delivered, it is not only the mother who is suffering but also the child. So like that, they're all scientific points are there like everywhere. So Sariye, Kriye, Yogam, Jnanam. These are the ways to achieve. Just because you have attained jnana doesn't mean you will be granted mukti immediately. That he will decide. So, and the jnana will be jnana guru once you are gone to the stage of yogam, and he will appear. He himself, nobody other than Shiva himself will come and give you the jnana. Nobody else is authorized to give the jnana. So that is what Sai Siddhanta categorically says. Jnanam will be jnanathai kaatti alladhu mochathai koda. So jnanathai katta Sivaberuman varuvar. That is the belief of Saivism.
What are this Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Raja Yoga,
this is,
Jnana Yoga?
Yeah, this in this 4 itself, everything will come. In this 4 itself, everything. Sariye, Kriye, and that's see, when you are when you are just going to the temple only for your needs, that is Sariye. When you are going for there is somebody who is bigger than me, who is more knowledgeable than me, so I have to praise him. Like that, you go. That is, it becomes a Kriya. I can I experience him within myself? That is yoga. So, I want to go beyond this body. Then it becomes a jnanam. So that is
Who
how
are
I will
these
say.
63 marks? Are they followers of?
அது வந்து நான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காரைக்கால் அம்மையாரை பத்தி மட்டும் நான் சொல்லிட்டேன். எனக்கு வந்து மற்றவங்க மாணிக்கவாசகரை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் தெரியும். மாணிக்கவாசகர் வாதவூர் அடிகள், அவரை பத்தி மட்டும் எனக்கு தெரியும். மற்றவங்களை பத்தி அண்ட் திருவாரூர் சம்பந்தரை பத்தி சுத்தமா தெரியாது. அது நான் மன்னிக்கணும். பட் அவர் எனக்கு பர்மிஷன் கொடுக்கல அவரை பத்தி படிக்கிறதுக்கோ.
All these are in the were not during the same period. They are from different periods.
Different.
They knew each other. How were they connected?
No. Karaikal Ammayar 2nd century. So after that, in the 7th century only Jnana Sambandar comes. 7th century only Tirunavakarasar. So 8th century our man Sundarar comes. And Manikavasakar, there is a dispute. According to Raj, it is 10th. According to me, it is 2nd. So that is how. So they're all, and Nambi Andar Nambi is the one who compiled all this. That is in 10th century by the Rajaraja Chola. If we didn't have Rajaraja Chola, this movie came, no? So what is that movie recently came? In that, Ponniyin Selvan's sister, she only identifies this Tirumurais. If she's not there, we wouldn't have had trace of these books. What she does, she goes to a village where the one girl was singing one of this Tirumurai. She listens to it, she gets attracted, she goes and collects some of the poems, and then she goes and tells the king, Rajarajan, that like these poems are there, we don't know where it is. So he immediately orders all the others to go and search of this. So that is how it comes. So, and then it's all being kept in the Chidambaram temple, but nobody knew. So it is the Rajarajan who brought it out to the common man. So, and Nambi under Nambi, with the blessing of Pollapillayar, he compiled all this into 12 Tirumurais.
See, lot of the terminology used are Sanskrit terminology.
Yes.
This is written in Sanskrit or Tamil? Tirumurai Saiva Siddhantam is a Tamilized version of the Sanskrit.
No. That is a different one. The two things we have to infer in this. One is there is no animosity between the two languages. We should understand this, Sanskrit or Tamil. So when you consider Sanskrit as a mother, Tamil is considered as a father. This is the words of my guru, Vallalar. So it is not by anybody. Vallalar is a revolutionary in spirituality. He went against the religion, went against the caste system, everything. He's a revolutionary by himself. He is the one who started the classes for elderly, to teach classes for elderly. He's the one who started Tirukural classes for students. He's the one who said everyone should learn 3 languages. He didn't say learn only Tamil. He said learn 3 languages minimum. So that is a saying. And if you go to, I can argue categorically by saying Tolgapiyam has got, that is the grammar book of Tamil. Actually, the original book is what is that called? I'm getting losing the name. So original book is different, which was dictated by Muruga to Nakirar. So Nakirar was writing from Muruga. That book was the original Tamil grammar book. I forgot the name, but the Vali Nool, this Agatya's, who wrote the second, Tolgapiyam is the student of him who wrote the Tolgapiyam. Tolgapiyam only we don't have the Agatyam. Agatyam is the original Tamil grammar book. Agatyam we don't have. So Agatyar was taught by Muruga to write the grammar book. From Agatyar, Tolgapiyar is a student of Agatyar who wrote the Tolgapiyam. So we don't have the original book, we have the student's book only. So even in that Tolgapiyam, there is a one chapter separately for how to use a Sanskrit word into Tamil. That is there. That means such a big scholar, he has given a full chapter on how to utilize Sanskrit words into Tamil. So when they take all these Vedas are in Sanskrit. So it is not, even many of the Agamas are on Sanskrit. So obviously all our, including I said, Arulnandi Sivam, all these people had a very good knowledge in Sanskrit. They never treated Sanskrit and Tamil as two different things.
A lot of
But Sundari
Saivism
Alan,
is from Kashmir, actually. I
No,
mean, but
that is
some
again
special.
that is again that is a Kashmir Saivism is different. Karnataka Saivism, that is Veera Saivam, and ours is a Sutta Saivam, Sutta Advaita Saivam. This
What
is
are the
very
differences?
Veera Saivam is the one which you can see people having a linga in their neck. For them, whatever the Guru says, that is the ultimate. They will not pray to any other god other than the lingam that they wear in the neck. So they won't salute anybody else. So that is the Veera Saivam. So in the Sutta Advaita Saivam of Saiva Siddhantam deals with the word Advaitam in a different way. The Advaita philosophy being taught or interpreted completely in a different way with respect to the Saiva Siddhantam when compared with others. Other difference between the other Saivism is the Siva Samamavadam. When they say that when after the Mukti, when you go into the finally when you join, they say that the soul and the Shivam are one and the same, which Saiva Siddhantam doesn't accept. Even though we accept Advaita, we don't accept in Mukti, you'll all be the same. No, we don't accept. Even in Mukti, only the experience of the soul is one and the same. There is no Tiripudikam, they will say. That is the Kanban, Kanapadam Porul, and the experience. All three are different. But all three will be one. Only with respect to that soul, Mukti Petra Anmag, with respect to that soul, it is one. But with respect to us, the common man, it is two. So, so even the Mukti Adainda Nilayilum, it's not one. You can never achieve his state because Engunam and the Ain Dolila Yarum Puriyam and the 5 jobs that he does, nobody else has the ability to do. You are a soul forever. So that is how they differ. Other thing is Saiva Siddhanta Advaitam is Vondrai Udanai Verai. That means when he is within yourself as a Arivukku Arivai, within your knowledge he is residing, at the same time you can't see him. That is Vondrai. That means by Kalappinal Vondrai, you cannot differentiate at all. It is so mixed well, you can't differentiate where is God within your knowledge. So he is like that. So Kalappinal Vondru. Sayalal Udanai. That means whenever you try to do any job, he is always coming with you in your job. So that is Udanai. Where I means whenever you have to achieve the jnana, he has to stand away from you. If somebody is outside only, you can understand. The soul is like that. Somebody has to tell them. So for that, he comes in the different form. Where so Vondrai, Udanai, where is a very unique and classical description of Advaita by Saiva Siddhanta. So in that way, they differ from the Advaita of Adi Shankara. So Advaita is again divided into many forms. So this is what Saiva Siddhanta says, the Sutta Advaitam. What Shankara says is the Kevala Advaitam. What Ramanuja says is the Vishishta Advaitam. What Matwar says is the Dvaitam. Like that, different kinds of thing. And in Advaitam, the word, when they describe, in Tamil, they describe the argument against the Advaitam interpreted by commonly by our people, saying God and the soul are same. In that, they say that in my porul, anmai porul, marudalai porul. Whenever A comes in front of any word, there are 3 ways to interpret. You can interpret in affirmative or negative or a contradictory way. These are the 3 ways you can differentiate, but each one does it in their own way. So that is how they differ. So I am not here to say that each one is wrong or right, but they are all very highly evolved souls. When they see something, they interpret in that way. They have the right to say that we are in the lowest of the lowest forms. We have no right to differentiate or comment on that. I don't have the right. But these are the forms these are the people who have achieved the highest spiritual elevations, which you can't even think of. So whatever your degree is nothing. Whatever your complex surgeries are nothing when compared to that. So I'm not here to comment anything, but this is how the Sai Siddhantam differentiates. So other thing they say quote, one beautiful example they quote is they go to the Panini grammar. Panini grammar book is the like Tolkappiyam, it is a Valinood. It is not the primary grammar book of Sanskrit. Primary Sanskrit book is called Indriyam. That is written by Indra himself. So that book we don't have. Only the Panini's grammar book we have. In that book, whenever a number comes in front of that, when you add a, it is actually two, but it appears like one. That is how you have to interpret according to Panini grammar. So that I took it as a reference for me, because grammar should always conclude. That is like a reference for you. So Panini grammar says whenever number comes in front of R comes, it is always it is two, but appearing as one. That's all. It appears to be one. That is how they give an argument. Other arguments I can quote, but it is of no use for us for people like you.
I have one more question, Ravi, before I open to all others. See, the Shaivism is practiced in all the Shankara mats, right?
Yeah.
And also practiced in so many Adhinams.
Yes.
What is the difference? The Adhinams
That's
practice and what is the difference in Shankara
that is
mats
what
practice?
that is they don't there Shankara Madams say that when you achieve the jnana, when you achieve mukti, you become one. So these Adhinam doesn't accept that. So we are by that way. That is why we say that attain the lotus feet of the Lord. So we achieve the feet of the Lord. We cannot become one with the Lord. So they in Vedas they say Kudakayam Magakayam. Kudakayam is like your consciousness within this body. When you remove your body, you merge with the Mahagayam, whether the bigger space. So that Kudakayam is within the part. So Kudam means part. So the body, your consciousness restricted within this body. When you leave the body, this consciousness becomes one with the Mahagayam. That is the Parabrahman. So that logic doesn't work practical for me. So when anybody dies, they'll attain Paramukti then. So that is where the difference is.
I'll ask Dr. Vishnu but to come in here and for his comments or any queries, sir.
Good evening. Very interesting topic. Of course, my knowledge is very limited, but I am enlightened.
Even my knowledge is very limited, sir. I have to tell them.
So I am just getting enlightened by the discourse. But I think whatever you look at, do good for others, do not do harm. That is the basic principle of any of the philosophy, probably. And whatever you talked, mostly beyond my understanding as such, because I don't have much knowledge in this direction. I was thinking all this time yoga, of course, is doing something like an exercise where we stretch the muscles to activity. But your way of looking at yoga is something different. You are thinking that yoga along with this thinking, which I never thought.
In the yoga, actually, literally means you have to get rid of your tattvas, 36 tattvas. You get rid of one by one, one by one, one by one. So, or simultaneously with the blessing of God, then you reach in union. That is what is the yoga. When I can tell an example which happened in Mahaperiyava's life. You can read in the book also. Very interesting. So, short story. When he was one day. He was eating something. One fellow came and one farmer gave some green leaves. They made curry out of it, and the Periyava liked it, and he was eating it. The second day, that fellow farmer came and asked, "How did he like?" He liked, man. He ate a little bit more. So then next day also he came. So third day also same food being served. So third day also he was eating more. Then third day he asked the cook, why are you serving the same food every day to me? So no, sir, when we are, no Periyava, when we are eating, we saw that you are eating a little bit more better now. So we thought you like this food. Immediately next what next 3 days he would have done. Can you imagine anybody? Nobody can imagine. So see, it is not that he didn't achieve that state. That is what the story written in a different way, but I will interpret in a different way. The Periva wanted to show to the people that he has crossed the sensory stage to teach them what he did. Next day onwards, he got the cow dung. For next 3 days, he ate only that. So that is not to punish himself. They will write like that. No, it is not like that. He wanted to show the people that he has crossed the taste sensation. So that is what is yoga. That is how you go forward.
But being a spinal surgeon, how do you find time for
The other question, interesting question you said, which I had a doubt long time. When you do good, this is what many common literary people think, that doing good is enough. That is also not true, according to Saiva Siddhanta or according to our religion, according to our Samaya. So because they differentiate into two punyas. One is Siva Punyam, other is the Pasu Punyam. Pasu Punyam is what you said, do good to others or do good to anything. So that is Pasupunyam. That will create another birth. Whereas Siva Punyam is like Irappil Tavam. They say there is no death. Whatever you have done, it gets accumulated in every birth. It is going to add on to your punyas to evolve further in your life. And you spiritually progress with Siva Punyam, but not with Pasupunyam. So Pasupunyam is for you to achieve a better life next time, or to go into a Sorgam or whatever you call. So you can go, but it is not a way to end your cycle of birth and death. So Hirappil Tavam.
Wanting to comment here.
Ramana Shiva is telling yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That is the first line of Patanjali Yoga Sutra's quote he has given. Nice.
Okay. What is the Chitta Vritti?
Yoga meaning Siddha Vriddhi Nirodha. Whatever there in the Siddha, the Vriddhi you'll have to Nirodha. So yoga means
Yeah, vritti means actually, vritti is basically the cyclical states of mind.
Yes.
So
yes.
yoga
It
is
No. Actually, the vritti means different. Vritti means, it is parimanam we say in Tamil, vritti we say. Parimanam is turning one object into different object. That is parimanam. That is the scientist, man evolved from a monkey, something like that. That size then that doesn't accept. But still, that is parimanam. Whereas vritti is an expansion. So if you go by that, your expansion of your knowledge, siddhi or sittam or whatever your knowledge or whatever arivu, that itself cannot be the end. I don't know. So
Patanjali himself is telling it's all like a seed. If you keep a seed, a plant will grow. So you'll have to fry it. So the fried seeds cannot grow a plant. So that's how the explanation goes in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra in the beginning.
That is very good. That is with respect to all the 36 tattvas. When you want to get rid of all these tattvas, yes, it helps. Only the conclusion aspect of it, they don't agree. With the Vedantist or the Scientist, they don't agree, because the jnana stage he differs. Patanjali differs. That is not because of the Patanjali's fault. If you go by the story, Patanjali, when he was teaching 101 students, he puts a screen and starts teaching to them and telling them, don't open the screen before I complete. But the students had, out of their inquisitiveness, they open, they lose. The Patanjali's full teachings doesn't come into our hands. That is the main reason. It is not because of fault of Patanjali, because the human tendency of making mistakes, we didn't get the full extract of Patanjali. That is what it is.
Actually, sir, the point which you told, that yoga now they have only taken it to only the postures, no? Yes. That was a very wonderful point, because now, after the Westerners have taken yoga, it's only come to the postures. But
asanas comes into the fourth stage of the sequence.
The elders, our ancestors wanted the asanas to keep the body fit so that the mind is ready for the spiritual experience.
That's what Tirumandram said, no?
Yeah, so the practice of the asana is so that the body is ready for the spiritual experience. That's all. But now it is wonderful point, sir. That is.
Yeah, those
that is what
are
Tirumandram. He knows the Tirumandram. Raj will can go to that.
So the
what is it?
The Siddha Vriddhi, the seed, it should not be allowed to grow. So you have to fry it. Similarly, the Tiruvachakam is telling, we have all 5 senses. Through the senses, we do a lot of things, and it creates more of a birth one after another because of the deeds what we are doing. So you have to keep all your senses there with the Shiva. That's how we say, my Chintana, I keep it. My eyes, I see only him. My ears will listen to only his. So that it's like a pot with the 5 holes. So all my water, whatever I am pouring, it goes with all the holes of the pot. So how I'll carry the content? So I'll go the entire pot submerge into the water. So in and out is the water. So I'll in the bliss. That's how the Tiruvachakam is telling.
Yeah, the Vani, please come in.
In lighter vein, sir, Patta is never stumped by anybody. And at the end of the session, he stumps the speaker. So today, Patta is at a loss of words. And I want to salute you, sir, because I had a statistics teacher like you, who was 20 years younger than me, Ramesh Armugam, who studied in Chipma. And he taught me statistics when I was 60. And he knew so much. But what he and I had in common is we believed in Gandhi. And I understood many words like Satchit Anand, Guna, or whatever, some words, Tattva, the words you used. Because after retirement, I read the English version of the Bhagavad Gita to my mother, who was very unhappy. And my mother was not understanding it. And I understood it. At least I think I did. And only I have it, it's not a doubt, but if we practice goodness, we can't survive in society. So practicing, my husband, when he came for this class with me, he said, you anyway practice all these things and you're always getting into trouble in the OBG department because you're always truthful, you're very honest. And I used to get angry with you, but you don't need to learn the Bhagavad Gita. So with lot of love and affection, sir, I really enjoyed your discourse. And I just want to say hello to my teacher, Dr. Vishnu Bhatt. Thank you very much. It was very, very nice.
Coming to your point of...
I don't want to be near you. I want to, I cannot reach immortality. I cannot find God within me. I just want to continue to be good, do good. But it was very good. Thank you, sir.
So this point of doing good people will not survive is a totally our deficiency in our understanding. And good people will never be let down. So that I strongly felt, I proved myself, and I could survive when I can survive.
No, sir, now I can survive. No, it has helped me now.
Other thing is Bhagavad Gita. If you want to read, they say that the best. I haven't read Ramanuja's Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be the greatest explanation. I don't have a book, but I got it just now. When I find time, I get to read that.
So because I read it later after retirement, no, sir. So now I am actually more prepared for what people are scared of, old age, death and all. I think I am more strong because I read the Bhagavad Gita. I didn't listen to my dad and grandmother for 65 years, but it was worth reading it. And I didn't teach my children any of this. So, but I
feel I should have got into spirituality much more earlier. So by that way, you are able to, there are a lot of other advantages of this. What did you gain out of this? Saiva Siddhantam never goes without saying what is the benefit that you get. So like that, there are immense benefit. I can talk about it as a surgeon because surgical field makes you humble. You could have done thousands of surgeries in a very good way, but one mistake is good enough to bring you down. So especially as a surgeon, I've immensely benefited out of this kind of progress. So so to tell you an example, time over.
No. I just want to talk 2-3 minutes, whatever the points left out.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I myself asked many questions in the beginning, like whether do we need God at all? Whether the man created God, God created man, that question was there for a long time. Whether do we need God at all? What is the purpose of God? Everything is naturally happens. So then we think the Saiva Siddhanta is addressing in a different way. When you throw a stone to a dog, the dog doesn't go to the stone and bite the stone. It knows this inanimate thing cannot fall on its own. So the dog will chase the person who throws. That is the intellectual property. So similarly, the entire world is rotating on its own, evolving. So there should be one person who is doing that. He must be the God. Like he was explaining Padi, Pasu, Pasha and three different things. As we are soul, we cannot do anything. So there must be a supreme God. So we have to understand that. In that case, why there are so many gods? Like when in my young age, I used to go, little Ganapati is there, then Muruga, there are 100 female, and Kuladaivam is there. There are 100 gods. People are asking which one to select, what to pray, why there are so many gods. Then the Saiva Siddhanta is giving the solution or giving the answers for all these things. So God is one. In the beginning, Dr. Ravi was telling, Ondre Kulam, Oruvane Devan. It means all the souls are one category. God is only one. The Saiva Siddhanta is giving a single clear solution. There are only three segments in the entire universe. One is God, one is souls, one is the inanimate thing. Only there are three. That's called Padi, Pasu, Pasam. So this Pasu, bondage with the Pasam. Pasa means rope. It's tied with that. Liberating that, the Pasu should come to the Pati. That is why the Dakshinamurti is giving. This is the soul, and it is three mala. It is bondage. God is here. So Dakshinamurti is giving Shinvatra, you leave all these three, unite with me. That's why the Dakshinamurti is sitting and symbolize, teaching all the four rishis. So you have to leave these three deeds and come to me. Only then you can come. As long as it is with you, it cannot come. So what are the ways to go? So how there are so many gods, meaning a potter making a pot or with a clay, is making a pot, pan, plates, and so many different vessels is making. Each one will be called by its name differently. The purpose of the vessels also different. Names are different. The usage is different. You cannot make a fry on a curved, closed mouth pot. You cannot boil rice with a pan. So purpose different, name is different, but these are all made in a single clay, made of the same object. That's how the Prakriti is, in a different form, different way. For example, if Dr. Ravi is here, when he was born, mother will be called Enada. Hi, Ravi, they would have called. Sister will call Anna. The elder brother will call Tambi. Then he will have different names. When he goes to the theater, they will call doctor. When his son or daughter will call Appa. So the same person will reciprocate with everyone with the different names, with the approach is different. He cannot treat his sister the same way with the wife. The mother will be treated differently. The reciprocation different, names are different. Similarly, everybody, it's a supreme power. God is enormous source of everything. So when you approach a God, I want to learn something, then you approach a God, come as a teacher and teach me. If a soldier wants to go to the war, he will go and pray the God, you have to decide with me to defeat the enemies. So he will request the God, come with the armor and the sword and the armor. So that's how the God will come. Whatever you ask for it, it will come, appear on the form. If I'm asking the Guru, that's how I shape it. That's why there are so many idols, so many, because that's what we wanted, how we have to come. So the source is coming. All these questions been addressed from Saiva Siddhanta point very clearly. All the doubts has been clear. This is the thing I want to tell. Any questions?
Sir, you wanted to say something in between.
Yes.
Yeah. Spirituality is definitely important. I think that is why the WHO has added spirituality to the health, well-being. So, in addition to freedom from disease and other things.
It is important for the doctors also, I think.
Doctors also.
Very,
So
very
somebody
important for
said
doctors.
being good sometimes maybe not work out or not being good. But I think it is only a transient phenomenon. So
Yes,
if you are
exactly.
good, some or other it will come out. Sometime it will come out well. So I don't think that one should think that being good is bad. It will never be bad. Maybe transiently, sometimes problem may come, but I think ultimately truth will flow. And it's you rightly said, you can call by different names. But whatever you call, it will go to only one God. Sarvadeva Namaskrutyam Keshavam Pratigachati. So finally, only one God is there. You
Correct.
call whatever name you want, but it is all one and same.
Even if you pray, all the post box will go to the GPO, whatever letter you post.
Dr. Vijay Bose, please come in. The Vijay Bose is somebody who propagates holistic health and wellness. And where does Saiva Siddhanta fit into his menu? Vijay.
Thanks, but I joined a little late because I didn't listen to sorry, Ravi, I didn't listen to the full discourse and now. So
you're an excellent speaker.
difficult
So
for me to
cannot
give an
match
answer like that. Huh?
You are an excellent speaker. I have listened to your father. So your father can even today speak better than you. You are.
No, you must
No.
you must excuse me today because I haven't
No
listened to the
problem.
whole thing. So wrong for me to give any perspective on this. Yeah, my
No
apologies.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
William Kisku, you've been on for a while. You have any comments to make? Yeah. Anybody else? Ishwar Das?
Yeah. Hello. I am very happy to say that this session is very useful to me and very interesting, Ravi, and informative.
Thank you, sir.
I am Dr. Ishwar Das. I am a neurologist from Salem. I am practicing since I know
nice.
Bose's father because I was practicing in Sayargudi. At that time, I know Chandra Bose that time. So I got one simple question. That is,
Yes, sir.
நால்வரில் ஒருவர் but 63 ஒருவர் அல்ல. Why Manikavasagar not counted in 63 Nayanas? Is there any?
I think I can give whatever I read, but Raj will be able to add on to that. Manikavasagar Sivamam Tanmai Petravar. So அதனால he didn't include, Sundara didn't mention his name. That's all I will say, because I am a believer of Manikavasagar being 2nd century. So why he didn't write? Because he has achieved already the stage of Shivam. So he is not included in that song. That's all. That is what Krivananda Varya says. It's not my words. But people like Raj, they have historical evidence saying 10th century. But I don't know what explanation he will give for that.
The 63 Nayanmar is based on what Sundarar sang in his song, Kiruttonda Togai.
That's right. Why he didn't include him?
Yeah. No, that answer, there are two debates. He missed so many people, not only Manikavasagar. There are so many people he missed. Like from Agastya, there are Nakira, there are so many other people also he missed out. But whatever, that's why we concluded that historically he is after Sundara. And because of his literature type of songs. And so,
Sir, because you are a neurologist, I would like to talk few things about the conscious levels that the Saiva Siddhanta describes, sir.
Yeah.
If you are still online.
Yeah,
so it's a very interesting thing. Manam, the mind, they divide inner thing into 4. Manam, Sittam, Agankaram, Buddhi. ஒன்றை சென்று பற்றுவது மனம். அதுவோ இதுவோ என்று சந்தேகிப்பது சித்தம். அதனால எது முடிவெடுக்கிறத, one which raises itself and then to go to find out is Agankara, and finally one which concludes, yes, after rational thinking, this is what it is. That is what is Buddhi. So do you have in psychological concepts, psychology concepts like that, describing the components of mind like that?
No, certainly, because the brain is a very complicated organ, so more than 100 billion neurons. The conscious level is set up at the, even though at the brainstem level. Now, you know, the cortical level is very much advanced and evolved one. So at each stage, we will be like that. Only when you think about the cortical level, we think about God and we got into emotions, everything. At the brainstem level, almost like an animal stage only. There are stages of unconsciousness described in the Glasgow coma, so like that. But for the people who are treating the cognitive neurologists, they think that the brainstem consciousness is different from the cortical consciousness. So, and who are interested, the doctors who are interested in neurology of God. So, it's next July 19th to 20th, we have TAPICON, Tamil Nadu Association APA, Physicians Conference at Salem. I am talking about neurology of God. So where is the God center in the brain? Is there anything? Or what God think about the brain, what the brain think about God? And what is the position of these things? And it will be very interesting about what we think and what brain think. And according to brain, how we think. Is there any center, God spot is there? And what is that, the possessiveness, somebody is possessed by God, we say, and speaking in tongues, they say, because they were blabbering with things, but it's again by the brain only. So there are a lot of things we are discussing. So the doctors who are interested, they can attend that one. That will be
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shivram, if you are there, your words of wisdom, Shivram is somewhere in Himalayas. So if he is there, logged in, can you please come in? Shivram Bharadwaj. Because you only see Vidya, back to you.
So, since I am like not even pre-KG in this whole thing, I'm just stunned into silence. Like Vani was saying that, you stump the speakers with questions and then today you are stumped. So you can imagine my situation. But it's what I'm most amazed by is that the amount of detail and recall, the amount of reading that Dr. Ravi and Raj have done, and the extensive recall. Like I used to struggle with anatomy just to remember what are the structures piercing the clavipectoral fascia or whatever. I was terrible at history. So I think if I get into this thing, I'm going to have a really tough time because I have trouble with recall.
No, I had a poor memory actually. My memory is one of the advantages that I had is I've improved my memory tremendously. That is the truth.
All right. So there's still hope for me this time.
Yeah, but isn't it just a drop in the ocean you discussed today, Ravi?
Yeah, you see, I can talk about the
Absolutely.
consciousness levels according to Saiva Siddhantam. Again, I can talk for another 15 minutes, but the neurologist is there. So if he wants, I can say something about it. So
I think we have to have a series of talks on this, then we'll understand this a lot more better than, because I know actually, as many agree and believe in, our teacher, Professor Vishnu Bhatt, says that we doctors have no knowledge about these things. We have no time, no inclination, no approach.
no, we have a lot of them. One thing I want to say is you have immense potential to benefit as a doctor. That is what I would like to say. That is the main thing, because A.L. Mudalia, who wrote the obstetric books, he used to do every day puja at 4:30 to 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Without that, he will not come for work. And at the end of his puja, he has to visit Thiruvattriyur. Without seeing Votrisen, he will not, even a single day will not go. And he has to visit the temple every day. He being a dean, director, vice chancellor, member of Senate, deciding the syllabus of MBBS, how it is to be taught, representing United Nations like that, he has got so much who has achieved scientifically, but still, this is what. And at the end of his prayer, I believe he will come out of the prayer room at least 20-30 patients will be waiting. Just looking at their face, the PA will be dictated medicines. He will write the prescription and give it. He won't ask any complaints. So like that, he will do, I believe. This is a recorded history. It's a history. So it is not a story. So that is how it initiated me into that further strengthened my interest and to go into this.
Diagnosing by observation.
Yeah, so he will come out of the puja room and then he will finish all the 20-30 patients in 15-20 minutes, I believe. He won't ask any question.
What is your routine, Ravi? Because you're a Cyber Siddhanti. Is your lifestyle and routine any different from the others?
Every day, see, if I don't do my puja, which actually I'm not to commit, I do a lot of sin. So in the way, I'm supposed to do 2 times puja, which I do only once. So that itself is a mistake because I got the Visheda Diksha. That means I have to do at least morning once, night once. Afternoon also, if you do, it is better. Manikvasir and all did 6 times. So that is different story. But only once I'm doing. But all the pavam will go to my guru who has given me the Diksha. So that is what Tiruvadari Adinam believes. So that is a bad thing.
I think we have come to an end of a very wonderful session because this can go on and on and on. Before we leave, Dr. Ravi and Raj, can you please give your telephone number and mail ID and the contact because there's a demand for it, so people can get in touch with you. We can just type it out on the chat box, your mail ID as well as telephone number. Vidya?
Yeah.
Actually, we should ask Raj to talk in Tamil once. He can go on Tirumarize like anything.
So, Dr. Ravi, there was a question earlier by Dr. Shivapillai, who's in Africa, asking whether this course is available in English also. Like you mentioned.
No, if he's a Tamilian, I strongly recommend him to attend in Tamil. That means if you don't, why I moved away from Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads is because it is in Sanskrit. Even if I get the English translation, it is not equivalent to that. See, for example, if you take a word jnanam, there is no equivalent word for jnana in English. You cannot call it as a wisdom. Actually, I searched for many years and got the word gnosis, Gnosis. That is what is the equivalent word in English. So like that, if you want to experience that, please go do it in your mother tongue. That is one of the reasons why I came into Tamil, which I can, even though Tamil is not my mother tongue, but I can read, speak, and then I born and brought up in Tamil Nadu, so I can understand Tamil better.
Yeah, thank you, sir. If
for anything, he can talk to me if he wants any doubts or anything.
Can you leave your mobile number and your mail ID on the
whenever
chat
I'm
box.
free, I can do that. I can teach him something, introduction, all that I can do. If he understands Tamil, it will be easy for me. Because the terminologies are very tough. The terminology has to be understood properly. That is what problem is.
So Ramana, you have Raj's number and Dr.
Mail ID.
Yeah, and mail ID, and I can put you in touch with Dr. Ravi if you want. So
sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for not only we heard from Dr. Ravi and Raj, we heard everyone's perspective as well, and the people's attention span was so good that almost 1.5 hours nobody left. So we, as Radhakrishna said, this is just a drop in the ocean. So maybe once in every few months we'll try to get Dr. Ravi or Raj or somebody else to talk about the various Siddhantas and other. You will have a bouquet to choose from which path you want to follow, I guess. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Ravi and Raj, for accepting
Thank you very much.
In such a short notice. We didn't. It was really kind of you to immediately agree for this session. Thank you, everybody. We'll meet again next week with another episode of Marvelous Medicine. Till then, take care and stay safe.